Welcome to Post Video, where a few film nerds gather around a bottle of whiskey to watch a movie. This podcast may contain spoilers and is intended for a mature audience. Listener's discretion is advised.
Hey, I'm your host, Zach. I'm here with my co-host, Aaron.
Yo!
And as usual, Mr. Tim Postlewaite.
I'm sure.
This is a watch-along film commentary podcast.
You know what it is, baby. You know what
thing.
it is.
You watch it with the film. It's like DVD commentary. You know that thing they used to do back in the day? So make sure you're hitting the play button for the countdown.
And tonight we are doing the 1996 travesty of American science fiction horror film, The Island of Dr. Moreau. And like Zach said, you can watch along with us. We will do a countdown in 3, 2, 1.
We are drinking, by the way. We always drink during these episodes. We don't take ourselves too seriously. You guys should never take yourselves too seriously. If you're drinking along, now's the time when we do a little salute. Cheers, boys. What are we going to cheers to? We going to cheers to the Val Kilmer? Him surviving cancer?
Sure.
I don't know if you call it surviving.
I was about to say sort of surviving. He's in rough shape, my dudes. He's in rough shape.
That asshole stood me up.
He was probably dying, Tim. That's why he stood you up.
Yeah. I still am not over it.
I'm super interested to see how much he's in the new Top Gun movie when it comes out.
I don't think he's going to be in it at all.
Well, he says he's in there.
Yeah. So, okay, we're gonna get right into this because there's a lot to unpack here with this movie.
Whole lot.
Right off the bat, it was called Frankenheimer, or whatever the director is. He was not the original. It was Richard Stanley.
They shot almost the whole movie, didn't they?
No.
This ended up being extremely expensive.
Well, Richard Stanley, and there's a great documentary you can find on Shudder, I think, called Lost Soul, The Doomed Journey of Richard Stanley's Island of Dr. Moreau. Ron Perlman, there you go. No, but he was fired right before they were going to... Tamora Morrison.
Right.
Whoa. Tamora Morrison is Boba Fett.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Django.
He's a Kiwi.
Can't get them all right.
They did. They filmed a lot of this in Australia and New Zealand, I want to say. I know they did some in Australia.
Yeah, that's why they had Tamora in there.
Yeah.
I think you can hear the didgeridoo in the background.
Stan Winston.
Of course. I mean, this intro is in your face.
It's a pretty aggressive intro. Yeah, Stan Winston. I want to say Greg Nicotero did some of the practical makeup effects in this.
And there's it's all makeup. Everything is makeup.
And that is very good about this movie. But God, where to begin with this movie?
Yeah, seriously, yeah.
Yeah, obviously we're going to be touching a lot on the egos. That is, for y'all that are not familiar with this film,
the two biggest egos.
It's one of the biggest what the fuck happened kind of things where just so much that could have gone wrong. So what could have gone wrong went wrong in this movie.
All of it.
Recasting over and over and over again. Directors being fired, rehired. When they got to an island, I can't remember what the island is where they filmed a lot of it in the beginning. They had a lot of the sets built. It was plagued by storms. Right?
Yeah.
So this movie is infamous. A lot of y'all know about, obviously Waterworld and all those famous movies that just had terrible, behind the scenes stuff. This one.
Our plane crashed in the endless southern Pacific.
This character, who the
narrator.
Well, it's told, or the book at least was told through his point of view.
He was the one we experienced it through.
Yeah, he's marooned on this island, shipwrecked.
Did you ever read the book?
No. No, I did not.
I hadn't either. I kind of got the Cliff's Notes.
Wasn't, So, yeah, this... God, and I saw this movie once. Everything I know about this movie is, just after the fact.
So if we were stranded on a raft, who would be eaten first?
Yeah, I mean, there's like 3 guys, so immediately they started going, okay, which one are we going to team up against and eat?
You guys would team up and eat me, wouldn't you?
You got more meat on you.
Exactly, I know it. I see it in your faces.
But you would probably be able to do some kind of move on us. And
I don't think I could have against the 2 of yous.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is like either
take you into the water and all that jujitsu goes out the window.
It does.
Well, it's either we team up on you or each of us try to win your side, or you probably just kill both of us and eat us.
But then I'd be all alone.
Well, see, the trick is, a lot of people don't know, is that you can drink salt water. You just got to power through that first part.
You just got to power through the
Nobody
death?
can make it past the part where you get sick until it starts helping you. You just got to power through it. That's all.
But see, that's Aaron's big flaw.
Please don't listen to Tim. You guys.
I'm a bit of an expert.
Aaron doesn't. He doesn't want to be alone, so
Well, that's going to be his downfall.
He's not going to kill both of us.
Well, yeah, that's the line from The Mist. You put more than 2 people in a room or a raft. You start figuring out ways to kill the 2 people team up and figure out ways to kill the third.
I mean, there's a lot of stories. I think even recently, like at least the last 10 years, there was a story of a guy who got found. They were lost at sea for almost 2 weeks, and they know that he ate the other guy that was in there. But I think there was some kind of they almost tried to charge him.
You can't charge him.
Well, exactly, but I think there was something like that brought up. Waters. Yeah. There's something like that brought up to where they were going to try to charge him if he did do that. But
right, no, you can't charge that.
It's survival.
That's why people love to take cruises. Ain't no laws out there, baby. Ain't no laws
because of the implication.
It is the implication.
I mean, how many doctors?
The implication that you're not going to say no. Nobody's going to hear you scream.
I mean, how many doctors have pushed their trophy wives off the bow of the ship and, oh no, she was drunk and she fell.
Yeah, she drunk and slipped.
This guy needs some shade, man. He's gonna.
Yeah, that's what gets you is the sun.
Yeah, it really is.
So this actor who plays this role was the 3rd person cast. This was originally going to be Bruce Willis that was going to be playing our protagonist.
It was going to be Bruce. What?
He was wanting to change up, he wanted to get away from action stuff a little bit. This was pre-Sixth Sense. So he wanted to be this character to, show that he had, a little bit more range and everything.
Yeah.
But then he started going through the divorce with Demi Moore and was not allowed to leave the U.S. for 6 months until the divorce was all worked out and everything. So they had Bruce Willis as that guy.
Feeling better?
And then he backed out, and they had James Woods. It came in next to be that character.
Interesting choice.
Oh no! Wait, I take that back. Next, Val Kilmer was gonna be that character.
Oh, yeah.
So Val Kilmer comes on originally not to play that role, but to play this character.
Maroon
Douglas.
What was James Woods doing at this point?
John Carpenter's Vampires, probably. So Val Kilmer comes in. This is kind of really interesting. It's a little convoluted. And then after a couple months go on, the production kept getting stalled.
The guy's working on a peace settlement, and he just killed 2 people.
And he...
a little bit of irony.
Val Kilmer meets with the director and says, I don't really like this role anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do it unless, he goes, the only way I'll do it is if you cut 40% of my shooting schedule. And they're like, well, fuck, we can't do that. And they go, the only way we can do it. And then there was so much trouble already. They were like, if we lose Val Kilmer, they're going to just pull the plug on this movie.
And for you guys listening, Val Kilmer was... This was like peak Val Kilmer. He was super hot.
He was right off the heels of Batman Forever.
Yeah. And like The Saint and Ghost in the Darkness and all that, yeah.
So in order to keep him, they go, what if you take the other role? What if you take the role of Montgomery? And that immediately shot his shooting schedule down 40%, like he asked.
Are you a doctor?
So he agreed to switch the role, which means they had to fire James Woods.
Mm-hmm.
And then they brought in this guy from I think it was Northern Exposure at the time. and he immediately was like, Val Kilmer was being an asshole to this guy, and he apparently met with the director and begged them to release him from his contract because he was like, I can't fucking work with this guy. He's like, I'm begging you, please release me from the contract. And they hadn't started filming yet, so they let him go.
Because their characters are like, because Val Kilmer is basically like...
all of his scenes are with that guy.
But Val Kilmer's like Dr. Moreau's guy, right?
Yeah, he's his second in command, yeah.
Yeah.
His number one, guy.
He said he's not a doctor, he's more like a vet.
Yeah.
Well, his character kind of sympathizes with the beast people or whatever you want to call them.
Well, but also like Val Kilmer's character is the gateway to this guy figuring out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And if that's the person you're acting with 90% of the scenes, you're going to be with that guy, and he's treating you like a dick.
I think that's when Val Kilmer realized he was going to be Marlon Brando's kind of protege character. He started trying to emulate him. His ego got even worse than Brando's did.
We got a radio and get you off the island in a couple of
And Marlon Brando, famously the biggest ego ever in Hollywood. You know what I mean?
Well, this was New Line Cinema, and they had just got done doing Don Juan DeMarco with him. If you remember, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp and Marlon Brando and some girl. And Bob Shea, who was the head of New Line Cinema, who was most famous for
like Ninja Turtles or something.
Ninja Turtles, Nightmare on Elm Street. He was the only person that believed in Nightmare on Elm Street, and that they call New Line Cinema the house that Freddie built because that's where they made all their money. And Bob Shea told them, he begged them, he said, listen, we just got done working with Brando and Don Juan DeMarco. Do not fucking put him in this fucking movie. He's like, he's a nightmare to work with, and y'all are going to regret it. But they wanted a big name.
They wanted that name.
They wanted a name attached to it to kind of give it some clout.
took it over in World War II.
And even when Richard Stanley even said they had imagined the character of Moreau so different. He was a thin, younger man with a beard and everything, kind of a...
kind of bookwormish?
Like a Timothy Leary meets fucking... I can't remember what, Richard Attenborough or something.
Charismatic kind of leader, kind of...
And when they cast Brando, he was like, fuck, we got to just scrap all of that shit. We got to come up with a whole new idea to kind of form it around Brando. And Brando famously refuses to memorize lines.
Yeah.
And there's actually a few shots in this movie where you can actually see the earpiece in his ear where they fed him his lines through an earpiece. I'll point them out.
Wow, what a...
Like, who would ever hire that guy? I don't care if you were fucking in Apocalypse Now.
Yeah,
Brando,
exactly.
Tom. You put that... I mean, at this time, you put that name on there, people are going to show up.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it also skyrocketed the budget. As soon as he was attached, the budget went from like 26 to fucking 37 million or some shit, I think.
I mean, I want to say with... not this movie, but with another movie, I think Apocalypse Now with Marlon Brando, in that, like, there's lines in the movie where he didn't get, like, an earpiece fed to him or something like that. He heard somebody on the crew say something, he repeated it, and actually made it to the film.
No, well, they were saying that he was picking up other frequencies in this movie, and he was repeating, like, there's a robbery at fucking, Woolworths or whatever right now, like... People on the crew were saying that he would just repeat whatever came...
He's the original Anchorman.
Yeah, he would just repeat, literally whatever came through the headpiece.
Yeah, he just phones it in, like he did with Superman. He just kind of phones it in. That's what Marlon Brando is known for, is Superman.
Well, yeah, he was in Superman. Did you know that when you read that joke?
Yeah. No, come on, man. I'm an expert, gosh darn it.
Well, I thought you phoned it in like, the telephone booth, Superman.
The problem is...
I'm not that clever, Tim.
Oh, well, you should have just played it off because I thought you were.
Holy shit, he was actually in Superman?
Yeah, he's his dad. Plays his dad.
He was Jor-El, yeah. They CGI'd him back into Superman Returns.
Mm-hmm. They're really trying to get our curiosity with this score, I'm telling you. These shots, man. It's like crazy Steadicam.
Well,
work.
there's a lot of shit in this movie. Like the editing is so terribly off.
Yeah.
Because there's some scenes that like end and they don't go anywhere. Like, I think this was another one because there was so many problems during the filming and everything. They fired the first director. They gave it to the other guy, And then they did what studios do. They went and took the movie away from him and just fucking edited it. You know, they had somebody else completely
Right. Yeah. And
just chop it up.
gave it the old gave it the old Justice League treatment.
Yeah. The director didn't even have final say-so on the final cut. Which happens all the time. Ridley Scott, Blade Runner, he didn't get, you know, that's why there was famously years later there was
7 different cuts, yeah.
We were reading, I was Googling around whenever we were talking before you showed up, and apparently there is a remake in the works, and as of right now it's looking like the original director from this one is supposed to be directing the remake. Richard Stanley is supposed to be redirecting.
You mean the one who got fired?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Apparently he's going to do the remake of this movie.
It would have been good if I had done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what Hollywood's doing nowadays. The Snyder cut, you know,
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
They're giving directors. Francis Ford Coppola just fucking, speaking of Apocalypse Now, he just recut and re-released The Godfather 3.
I want to
Really?
see that.
I watched it. There's fucking hardly anything different.
I was about to say they take out the fluffer.
It's 30 minutes shorter.
Yeah. They
That was
changed.
like the big thing.
They just shuffled some scenes around. I rented it the other night and watched it because I love those movies. There's hardly anything different with it at all. It was kind of like, really. And introducing Fairuza Balk.
What? Fairuza Balk's in this?
She was big in the 90s.
Real big in the 90s.
I think she was just right off. Or was this before The Craft? Was The Craft 95 or 97? Which obviously was a huge smash success.
Well, all I know is it's before Waterboy.
Yeah, I loved her in Waterboy, man. God, that's probably my favorite Adam Sandler movie, Waterboy.
Hope you don't like what I did to your lawnmower.
Same year as The Craft.
Same year. So yeah, she was.
I'm sorry. It's all right.
She was big.
Who are you?
And then she just kind of dropped off.
I just got here.
She just those eyes of hers.
Montgomery.
The original goth GF.
From the city.
Yeah.
Well, originally I'm from England.
It was either Waterboy or Almost Famous that killed her career.
That's another island.
Waterboy didn't kill her career, but I didn't even know she was in Almost Famous. I never even watched that
My
movie.
name's
Wait, she was?
She's one of the groupies.
Douglas.
What?
That
I
makes
guess I don't
sense.
remember.
I've said
You've never seen Almost Famous?
Never cared to. They just got too overhyped to me.
Oh no, it's
It's good. It's good. It's a little.
it's a solid coming of age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Island.
It's definitely worth the watch. You should watch it. Watch it once.
Dr. Moreau.
Dr. Moreau.
Dr. Moreau.
Where are you from originally?
There's a lot of scenes of just Val Kilmer doing weird stuff in this movie. I mean,
he's hanging out with Marlon Brando.
he went method.
Getting acquainted.
It's just God. He was at the height. He literally was at the height of his career, and I've always thought like if he hadn't have just railroaded himself, because this was the time. This is 1996, so this is pre like Seven, Fight Club, all that stuff. Like right before Brad Pitt really started blowing up. And I feel like if he hadn't have been such a displeasure to work with, a lot of those roles probably would have gone to Val Kilmer that Brad Pitt probably ended up getting.
A lot of them probably, yeah.
Because they're just so similar. That very handsome. They have the same
He's
physique.
very charismatic. He's
Yeah. I mean,
Val Kilmer has like a very intense like quietness and stillness to all of his characters and to him, you know, where Brad Pitt kind of doesn't. Brad Pitt has kind of a chaotic sort of a
yeah, but he also
energy.
seems approachable
Yeah.
more. Val Kilmer seems more cold.
Obsessed.
yeah. But around this time, like Val Kilmer was like People magazine's like
Yeah.
sexiest man alive, like 3 years in a row or something.
He was Batman, so like he thought he could,
Activists drove him.
He's so
As-
handsome.
as
he
much
was
as-
he was a blonde Bruce Wayne. That's how handsome this
Yeah.
fucking guy is.
without reading him was right.
They're like, nah, you don't have to dye your hair. You can be a blonde Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, fuck it. We don't care. Joel Schumacher even said that he was a nightmare to work with on that movie, too, on Batman Forever. He said he was already showing prima donna, kind of spoiled frat boy, I think is how he described him.
So
A stuck-up frat boy. That's what
Oh, wow.
that's what Joel Schumacher called him.
Well, he was probably trying to hit on him. He didn't respond. So
Well, the reason that one of the main things that Richard Stanley has said in interviews is one of the first things that happened between him and Val Kilmer He's like, as a director, the studios tell you this and that, and you got this big star, and you're not supposed to tell the star no. But apparently Val Kilmer was on the set, like, saying that he was going to fuck one of the girls. I don't know if it was an actress or if it was somebody working there, but he was like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck her. I'm fucking Val Kilmer. And Richard Stanley was like, no, you can't act like that. Like, I'm sorry, that's not professional. And he was like, fuck you, I do what I want. I'm fucking Batman.
It was like the craft services woman or something, probably. Like,
he just thought he could just have his pick, apparently, and Richard Stanley was
hey,
like...
international waters, you know what I mean? That's just what he thought.
Yeah.
He was like, what are they going to do?
He's like, I'm Val Kilmer. What's she going to do, say no?
Well, what's she going to do, swim away?
Yeah.
You know? It's the implication. You know what I mean?
He's like, who else is there to fuck here? Everybody else is in all this crazy makeup and shit, like looking like dog people. And then you got Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right. Man, we haven't
It's just
seen...
that sense of entitlement.
Yeah. We haven't seen any of the creatures, but I can tell you, man, when I watched this when I was a kid,
It's
this
creepy.
movie fucking scared the shit out of me, dude.
Some of the little...
Vivisection to me is so horrifying. Like,
that body
not
horror.
dying, but like turning into something different. That's horrifying.
That goes back to Kafka and the metamorphosis. Just
Absolutely,
that the fly and, all that stuff. Body horror is the worst and the most unsettling.
So unsettling. Oh, should they put him in the brig? Val Kilmer was like, "Don't touch Fruza. That's
my girl.
That's my girl."
Another thing that messed with production before they even started filming, days before Marlon Brando was supposed to start filming his scenes, his daughter committed suicide.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Which delayed them quite a bit.
Y'all ever seen that? It's a really popular GIF, like in social media on the internet, but it's like the GIF of Marlon Brando kind of like biting his lips and rolling his eyes, and you always see like women commenting that it's like the hottest thing in the entire world because he's so handsome. Like Marlon Brando,
well, like young, like you talking about like Streetcar Named Desire Brando.
Yeah, that exactly. Streetcar Named Desire Brando. It's like what?
Before what
happened? Yeah, it's because he was like the pinnacle of the entire world.
One?
Yeah, that one. He was like the pinnacle of the whole world, and he could have whatever he wants. So he was like, "Yeah, I'm fucking Marlon Brando. I'm gonna get hired."
He's like, "I'm gonna get fat, and you'll still hire me."
Yeah, and he just so weird how he just let himself go.
Well, it's like Marlon Brando's like.
It's like Elvis. Like the same thing happened to Elvis.
Well, Francis Ford Coppola said when Brando showed up on the set of Apocalypse Now, he showed up like 50, 60 pounds overweight.
Yeah.
Like, and just was like, this is it. And they were like, fuck. Like, they were already out there in the jungle. They had to do it.
I mean, but Brando was like probably one of the last of like the golden age of movie stars.
Oh, yeah.
Who like, for one, survived
didn't die. Yeah,
didn't
Steve
die,
McQueen
didn't like lose his thing. Like he kept acting onto his later years to where it's like, those kind of people. I mean, it's the whole thing with like the Me Too movement in Hollywood and everything, whereas like some people just don't get taken down. Even fucking Woody Harrelson's crazy, weird ass, like they couldn't take him down. He's still making movies. He's still doing stuff.
Roman Polanski.
Woody Harrelson.
Woody Allen.
Woody Allen. Oh, yeah. I was like, Woody Harrelson. What?
Yeah, people just seem nuts.
Look at that llama.
It's like Marlon Brando is one of the last of the actors that could, in his end years was.
Well, that's like
just
the
horrible
whole,
to work with. But
is it better to burn out or fade away kind of thing?
What the hell kind of animals making that noise?
Our protagonist is in this lab. And some of the paintings and shit and the concept art for what they were gonna do with this movie is fucking gorgeous to look at. They were gonna have like tanks set up with like Cthulhu-esque kind of octopus type things that were like telekinetically talking to the doctors and stuff.
What the fuck?
Oh, giving birth.
Yeah, look at that. It's got fucking.
What the fuck?
It's got udders.
It's got a cleft palate, whatever it is.
Yeah, so we just discovered that there's like monster people like taking a...
I would not be running through the woods.
Yeah. I'd be running for the beach.
I can help you to get off this island. Only if you promise never to do or say anything like my father. We must go. Now.
She found him pretty quickly.
Oh, she was watching him, you know.
She hadn't seen a human man
Yeah,
other than Val Kilmer
she's
in a while.
interested. She's tired of tired of getting pig people hitting on her and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Even though it is weird how similar humans and pigs are.
There was
It's the only animal we can accept a heart transplant from.
yeah. They have the most similar flesh.
But then on top of that, like, dogs can take human medicine.
Depending on the medicine, yeah.
So one thing I was saying earlier, I got away from. There's a lot of the shots in this movie are just too dark.
Yeah, the contrast is a little too.
There's several scenes that are even straight up blurry.
Well, it was just night. It was like the dead of night when he found that lab, and now it's.
Well,
But I'm
also-
just talking about
Daylight.
how they edit it and stuff like that. Like a lot of the shots are just so dark that
Well-
you're you can't even see what's going
on
on.
top of that, they had 2 different directors.
There's out of focus. Yeah,
There's no telling how many
different editors worked on it.
or how many different crew members came in and dropped out. They probably didn't keep the same cinematographer the whole way,
Yeah.
and then also, the editors or whoever got the end of production, whoever had to piece together all this stuff,
That's terrible.
they probably had to make
Oh,
some stuff
God.
work.
Well, yeah, like I was saying, when they first got there and started building sets, they got ravaged by a bunch of storms, and a lot of the crew quit after some storms. They were like, fuck this, we haven't even started filming yet, and so yeah, they had to replace a lot of the crew multiple times.
Oh, there's that rabbit.
How do we know it's the same rabbit?
I don't know. It's a very wasteful animal.
Yeah, all I did was rip it apart and then leave. Wow, there goes the didgeridoos.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the
It's all right. He's a 5-finger.
I don't know. It's like
He's a 5-finger man.
the makeup, the practical effects, everything. It's still interesting. This could have been a good movie.
yeah. There was just too many egos involved. Too much, again, studio meddling. They apparently, before they even... shit. We just talked about Woody Allen and Roman Polanski. At one point, Roman Polanski was going to direct this. Before they got the third guy... Because Richard Stanley said that he got a memo one day saying, we're moving production to this other place... And Roman Polanski is going to direct it, and he was like, "The fuck!" And he went in. Oh no, it was when Brando got cast, and they said, "Okay, now that Brando's attached, we're gonna fire you. We're bringing in Roman Polanski."
I mean, it makes sense if it was filmed in New Zealand, where Roman Polanski's from.
Well, Richard Stanley demanded. He goes, I wrote this fucking screenplay. He's like, you're not just going to fire me. I wrote this bitch. I put fucking 6 months, of work into this. And he demanded, and very famously against all odds, he goes, let me meet with Brando. And if he doesn't like me, you can fire me. And for some reason, he met with Brando at his house, and he said it was really shady,
Oh, wow.
gates and everything. It was creepy being in the dude's house, and he was nervous the whole time. And he said for some reason, Brando took a shine to him and went back and told the studio, he goes, I'll make this movie if that guy's directing it.
Wow, really?
Richard Stanley got him on and said, no, I want to do this guy. I like this guy. But then they still ended up firing him. Apparently, they added in $1.5 million, I think. They were already setting up the other director to come take over and just let Richard Stanley keep working on the movie while they were already planning to have him fired, and they were coming up with
fucked up.
They were coming up with the money to hire this. $1.5 million apparently was the other guy's price.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
See, I mean, he should have pulled a Sylvester Stallone and Rocky, and been like, I wrote the script. I'm directing.
Yeah.
You don't have to pay me that much money, but I'm directing.
Yeah,
you know what I
I'll
mean?
take a pay cut, but this is my movie.
They should have done it.
Or just sabotage the whole, set the set on fire.
Yeah. I mean, that weird CG that happened earlier was super hokey and shitty, but The makeup's awesome.
Yeah, all the big. I mean,
Look at
yeah,
all the
Stan
and
Winston.
look at how many creatures there are in
Yeah.
this. The makeup's it's awesome.
It's Stan Winston, so you know you don't have to worry about that being shoddy. The stunt people and everybody that were in the makeup, though, did complain that it was a fucking nightmare.
Oh, I bet. I mean, you're in a tropical location. I bet it was hot as fuck.
Yeah. People were passing out left and right.
Yeah.
We are men.
One girl apparently showed up and said that her whole audition process was to run around on all fours and make pig noises.
Yeah.
And she said she called her agent. She goes, if you ever fucking send me to an audition like that ever again, she's like, you're fired. She's like, don't you dare. She goes, that was terrible. I don't care what they're paying.
Is this guy blind? Yeah, he's blind.
You're here to help him in his work?
The other 5 men is looking.
And I can't remember, too, because Brando was so notorious, like, he demanded, like, you got me for, like, a week.
Right,
or whatever. You better be able to film.
I'll shoot all my scenes in this week, yeah.
And then I'm gone. So that's why I don't even think you see him till like the second act of the movie.
Bring the 5 men.
Bring the 5 men. Oh, no, there he
is.
And this was also him. He came up with the Pope Mobile thing that's going on here. He came up with all the white paint on his face and the shawl.
I think this and Apocalypse Now, it's just Brando playing himself.
I
think we could say that.
It's also him going, what? How much can I get away with? And they'll still like go okay, because he showed up apparently like this, and they were like, oh no, like we have something else, and he's like, well, I can get back on the boat and leave, you know. There's something else he does later on that I'll show you, one of the scenes that was completely just the studio bowing down and going, you're going to give Mr. Brando whatever he asks for, kind of stuff. I mean, obviously the earpiece thing is one. I mean, that's a lot of extras and full-on makeup and costume, standing out in the sun for hours every day while they coax Kilmer and Brando to come out of their trailers.
Right.
Release him.
So you got all these extras, dozens and dozens of extras, standing around in full makeup in the heat,
full costume,
wondering when the star is going to show up to set so they can film their scenes.
The gun. What? Give him the gun.
I mean, he really just played Moreau. So
Right. Give it to him.
Oh. The terrible ADR.
yeah,
This is great.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, could you imagine shooting a shit film and then trying to get Marlon Brando to come in and do ADR after?
Well, yeah,
You
that's
hear
another
that?
thing. He wouldn't do that. He'd be like, I'm not coming to do ADR. What the fuck's ADR? He doesn't. He's like, I wouldn't even memorize my lines.
I beg you, please do not confuse them.
They
You
had
like the reverb they put on
yeah,
his voice?
just to make it sound,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
there's that
definitely,
cheating, man.
Definitely ADR. Jesus.
Oh, it doesn't hurt the ape men, only the lesser creatures.
Well, I think these other tribes that have like run off, they've like removed whatever implants they had in them to control.
I think this village here is only of the ape-like creatures with 5 fingers. Everyone else is like lesser. Those are cheetahs and boars and.
Okay, yeah.
So this is
then
like
there's the dog
this is the primate
people.
you know, who think that they're
Doing
better.
what it's doing to all of us, of all life on Earth.
Yeah, because they did.
Turn to the compound. Keep the weapon. It comforts you.
Oh yeah, the little guy. I forgot about the little guy.
This was the little guy always creeped the shit out of me more than anybody else in this movie. Because I thought, and this is my naivety.
That guy has the least amount of makeup on out of most of them, though, right?
He does have makeup on. I used to think that was not makeup. I thought I thought that little person.
No, it's a little bit of makeup, but
No,
he's
he's got the split head
Well,
thing.
I've looked him up. He was I can't remember where they got him. He was the Guinness Book of World Records
The
for
smallest
the shortest man alive, and they found him because he apparently was in some kind of like variety show, like where he would like do this little dance and stuff on stage. I can't remember, like it was Southern India or something where they found this guy. But over there, he was like,
I remember this
huge,
case. He's
yeah.
Indian,
he was like Michael Jackson status, like famous.
He's been exploited all his life.
Yeah, like he was a big deal. Like he had fans and stuff that were like
Nelson De La Rosa Martinez. He's Dominican.
Dominican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was like
Shortest man of the 20th and 21st century.
and his whole life
He
was
lived a long
probably
time.
pain and misery.
I understand.
Is he still alive?
I doubt it.
He made it to 38, died in 2006.
I must also point out
2 feet 4 inches tall.
an alligator
Yeah, I mean, little guys and giants, they don't live very long.
Yeah.
You know?
occasional.
Look at these people!
And usually it's a very painful life.
Look at him!
He's so judgmental.
Look, always look in his right ear. You can almost see the earpiece in that shot. You see it a little bit? It's flesh colored.
I think they put it on his other side.
No, there's a couple shots. You could see it.
Oh yeah, you sure can.
That's not his earlobe in there.
That's a piece.
That's a flesh colored
Yeah.
earpiece.
For the moment, it will have to suffice to say that
That's such an easy thing to fix. Put it in the other ear.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
living under my care and protection,
Or just put the camera on the other side of him. Whatever.
that have been
We also got to look at like
It's plain as day right there.
anytime we see shots where he's talking and it looks like he's actually speaking in those parts, is like it's probably always going to be a shot where he's the only one in the shot.
Yeah.
So as soon as they could coax him out of the trailer, they set him in the chair. It's just that low angle of the camera on. There was nobody else on set. Our limited people.
Yeah.
by these judgments shall ye also be judged, and let he who hath not sinned cast.
But they probably shot him separate from the crew a lot of the time.
Yeah, this guy's probably saying lines to
Perhaps this is
you know,
time to
yeah.
continue.
anybody but Brando. Look, bam!
Clock, I hope
Do you see that when he turned his head?
Mm-hmm.
find it to be slightly more receptive.
God, you could see it clear as day in his ear.
Dude, I just go along with it, man. If I was on this island and I was allowed to keep that gun, I'd be like, you know what? It's pretty cool what you're doing here.
I'm gonna keep the gun.
I'm just gonna keep acting cool until I can slip off this island. You know?
Obvious inspiration for Mini-Me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely. There's probably
This is inspiration for a lot of things.
there was probably they might have even made a reference or an off joke in Austin Powers about this. There's got to be a scene where somebody calls Dr. Evil Dr. Moreau. But yeah, Brando would refuse to memorize lines and oftentimes would ad-lib just gibberish.
Brando actually played that though. That was real.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm fucking.
No, it probably did.
Because I was going to say, that might have been something he would have been like, I want a scene in the movie where I'm playing the piano.
Yeah, where he'd like, I want everybody to know that I can play piano.
Yeah,
That
but I doubt it.
if that was true, I wouldn't be surprised. But
Because, like sometimes, directors would be like, hey, so what other talents do you have that we can use in this movie? Oh, well, I can play piano.
Somewhere in sands of the desert.
Apparently the little guy, too,
The head of a man.
did not enjoy the experience. He apparently thought
The little guy? Yeah.
He thought he was going to have a lot bigger role. And apparently one time one of the other actors approached him in an elevator and he punched him straight in the balls. Because he got mad at the guy for walking in the elevator and saying hi to him. And he just socked him in the balls and walked away.
He was only 2'4". I don't.
Yeah, so he was right there.
I mean,
Got mad that
He'd
somebody
really
said
have to
hi
reach.
to him.
Yeah, that's the story.
Well, he's probably a diva too.
Yeah, like I said, he was super famous where he came from.
Well, Mr. Douglas, very good of you to join us.
So he said everybody that lives on this island
Is the devil still to
was an animal that got spliced with human genes. So all of the 8 men in that place were, baboons and stuff that got spliced with. That's why they think they're better. And it's, yeah.
Well, permit me, Mr. Douglas, to tell you something of the devil that I've come to know.
Apparently in the novel that they changed.
The novel's like vivisection.
Well, in the novel, because it was written in 1895 or
Right.
something.
It wasn't genes. It was vivisection.
Well, it was more like very painful, just
like surgical
surgical.
grafting.
Yeah, that's what vivisection is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's
I'm going to
surgery,
take
yeah.
this human arm and I'm going to put it on an ape,
Yeah,
and see what
exactly.
happens. and vice versa. Yeah,
Just at that time, that was the beginning of surgeries and.
Yeah, in the book, it wasn't about DNA splicing. It was about just like straight
he
up.
tied this piece to that piece.
Yeah, like Frankenstein's monsters.
Yeah.
In my microscope. And I had
Like Tusk.
Yeah, just seeing like what would take.
And I suppose it was
Creative surgery and stuff, yeah.
There was also apparently, I don't know if they put it in the movie, but in the book, there's the place on the island called the House of Pain where he takes them to beat them when they're insubordinate, and that is exactly where the rap group got their name.
Are you serious?
House of Pain.
And it is with
They
great
got it from the island of Dr. Moreau.
that Lucifer.
What? Who wrote that? Is it like a Jules Verne novel or so? Who wrote
H.G.
it?
Wells.
H.G. Wells, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. There you go.
He did
Just-
the Time Machine.
Yeah,
and,
It's interesting you say like the flip of like the science at the time. Like the book was focusing more on like surgery,
Yeah.
and that was probably what was becoming more common in 1896. But this is in 1996, and it was
Process.
like genes and stuff
Yeah,
like
genetic-
that. Because
Yeah,
I've been-
Dolly the sheep.
Well, yeah,
Well,
they had just they started dabbling
I've
with
been-
cloning, and
I've been
yeah.
watching that Manhunter series, and they were doing the Unabomber, and like all of the people that he ended up bombing were people who did like
Ammonia's
science stuff in the mid '90s, and that was like he bombed a geneticist,
and if might
and that was one of them because that was kind of becoming more of a thing in the '90s. So
snout.
It's one of those.
smart of them to take that flip to modernize it, kind of thing.
Really.
Well, yeah, like you said, when he wrote the book, it was like, okay, well, this is a great like miracle of technology that we can do these surgeries and stuff. But what if somebody abused that power? It's just like Jeff Goldblum says in Jurassic Park. Y'all were so excited about the fact that you could do it, you didn't stop to think if you should do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck is that?
Is that?
Rabbit fricassee, master.
Oh, I was about to say, is that a buffalo penis?
Oh, God, get this out of my sight. Alzazello, who's responsible for this?
Mr. Monk.
Oh, he's a vegan.
In a original draft of the script, the Fairuza Balk character throughout the movie would turn into a Catwoman.
Wait, what now? Who, what?
In the original script,
Yeah.
Fairuza Balk's character was going to
Be like a werecat?
She was going to morph slowly throughout the film until the third act. She would
Was it
be
gonna be
like
like
a full-on Catwoman.
Is it a time-release genetic therapy?
Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
But the dog soldiers were going to then chase her up. They chase her up a wall, and because they're dog soldiers, they're half dog, half men. They had the idea that they'd have a very short memory. So they chase her up the wall. They kill her. They not only eat her, but then they feed her to that guy.
All right, I want.
And then when he realizes that he's being fed the girl,
Yeah.
he just freaks out and starts shooting the dog soldiers because he still has the gun. But it like turns into this really sad scene because they're like dog people. Like,
Oh, yeah,
they don't even
know
necessarily remember that
what
they
they
killed.
did,
That they did this or that it was bad. Like it's like a dog bringing
Yeah.
you a dead bird.
Right, wow.
So it was like supposed to be this really sad scene where he just starts murdering all these things. It's like, well, they're kind of innocent. Like they're victims too.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that would have been a really powerful, fucked up scene
I think
to watch.
dog humans would be
They've been too fucked up.
the worst.
Yeah. It was supposed to be like sympathetic. You're like, oh, that's fucked up. They like killed her and fed her to him. But then they like get all sad.
Everybody on this island except for Moreau and like Val Kilmer's character is a victim.
Yeah.
They're all abominations that didn't ask.
Yeah,
That was a
they're-
little rat man. Did you say Shadow?
That was a rat man.
That was the rat man.
That was like the monkey from
Now that's
Skull
terrifying.
Island.
Rat man?
In what was Dead Alive, Peter Jackson's movie?
Yeah.
The monkey from Skull Island. Which was a reference to King Kong.
We would be extinct as a species if there was rat men. Rats are already so smart and successful at living. We don't need them to be even smarter with hands.
Yeah, like no diseases kill them.
Yeah, they would just replace us.
Yeah, sure. Let's look in the cage.
Cat scare coming up.
Is this really freaking you out at this point? Everything you've seen, this is what's freaking you out.
freaked me out, dude.
It freaked me out, yeah. That's not Marlon Brando, I can guarantee you. That was
Yeah, that's just
anything where you don't actually straight up see his face is somebody else.
Not to kill.
Oh yeah, I mean any shot that's a close up, he was probably the only person in the scene.
Yeah.
That law.
It was probably in his trailer.
None escape.
Or right next to it.
None escape.
Any group shots, it's
Shall escape.
And that's probably he was like demanded like, I'll wear this white shawl and this hat and all this makeup and everything, so it'll make it easier for y'all to just get somebody else to be in the far away shots.
those are hyena men, aren't they? That's what they are.
They look like yeah.
Evil is he who breaks the law.
Could you imagine if we had hyena bite strength?
So he's in trouble for killing another animal, right?
Or the cheetah man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he killed that rabbit.
That rabbit. I
Yeah.
think that's what he's in trouble for, yeah. When they caught him on the rocks, yeah, eating.
You're expecting a cheetah man to be a vegan? Now that's just fucked
well,
up.
no, he's making them into men, so they have to follow the rules. That means you don't kill another animal.
Well,
it's kind of like people trying to make their cats vegan.
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's
saying. It's
Marlon
cruel. You
Brando
can't
right now.
can't make a cheetah man eat soy.
They caught it Lo Mai, and that other wildebeest man, when he looked at it, he said Lo Mai, got scared and ran off like that was somebody he knew. He didn't look scared, he looked upset about that was probably a loved one that he just realized had been...
I forgive you, my friend.
Better watch out, he's gonna eat you, bro.
I'm gonna kill you first chance I get.
Lomai has broken the law. He killed a living thing.
Is that a dart?
It's like that thing they do
To cows and sheep.
I was like, is that a dart right in
Like
the
a
head?
bolt.
I'm sorry, Father. I thought you wanted me to protect the law.
Who played that guy?
Get this guy. The law is not to kill
Oh
Like,
wait,
I don't know what you're talking about.
for any reason.
that's the priest guy's not a. He's not like an ape. He's like a ram or something.
Yeah, he's got...
Oh, so that guy's Tamiro.
That's him?
It is. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
yeah. You can see it in his face now.
Well, I'm glad he survived this movie.
Yeah. Because he was hidden under makeup, prosthetics.
Looking forward to the new series.
Yeah.
Looking forward to Star Wars and Aquaman.
Apparently, Aquaman's dead.
He was Aquaman's dad.
He was in the Jason Momoa movie?
Yeah. He was Aquaman's dad. Remember?
Oh,
He
shit.
had quite a bit of screen time in it.
Oh,
too.
yeah, that's right.
I don't know, dude. Like, I know this movie's ridiculous, but
The themes...
huge pops to the crew that made it.
Yeah.
The fact that they actually ended up putting it out. Like
the fact that it got finished at all.
It looks great. Like the
Well,
prosthetics look great.
The makeup
like,
does.
Siskel, I can't remember which one. Roger Ebert. No, it was Gene Siskel. Ebert hated this movie. Siskel actually loved it.
Really?
I watched their old review, and he gave it a lot of props.
Well, Siskel was like more about if a movie's fun. You know,
Yeah.
he was the guy that was
He was usually
easy. Yeah.
I mean, it looks great, even if it doesn't make sense and it's weird and all those things. But it looks good.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing. Yeah, these people in full makeup are what make it. Because if the makeup would have been hokey, we wouldn't be sitting here probably talking about it.
Well, it's like all this weird shit is what keeps you involved. Like if they look terrible,
Yeah.
then you wouldn't keep watching. But it doesn't matter what they're doing because like
I'm more
It's a
interested when
yeah.
these things are when the creatures are on screen rather than the actors.
It's the only thing that saves it. It's like you
Yeah.
want to keep seeing what other fucked up shit do they do. Like what other weird.
See, he just noticed there's like some tracker or something. That's
yeah.
the implant that he's put in all of them.
Like if they had half-assed the characters or the creatures as much as everything else fell apart, we probably wouldn't even be talking about this movie right
Yeah,
now.
and I'm saying
but-
we wouldn't be sitting here watching it. Of course, this is a little weird, but I mean, look, that's all animatronic with the lips and stuff.
I saw very little of
I don't know. Ain't better than Ninja Turtles, but you know.
He was in the laboratory working away in pursuit of his dream
Well, yeah, Jim Henson.
to create a perfect human race. Nothing was said of my attempted escape. Montgomery, who had once been a brilliant neurosurgeon,
It's also so sad, like,
released people's jail,
They put so much money into production design.
and now he had become mine too.
Like this set is like built. Probably a dozen, maybe 24 people put time into putting it together and picking out all the little pieces and
Yeah.
put this convincing looking thing to have Marlon Brando come in here and just be like, I'm gonna sit right there.
It's all going to be. I'm not getting up.
They put some kind of fucking red strobe on him.
Hey, that's a science strobe, man. That's how you know it's scientific, bro.
Like, look at these are all. These are all people.
That's extras in full ass makeup.
Like they managed to put a couple hundred people out in the middle of the woods.
Look, oh Jesus.
Go. Good girl. Hi, sweetie.
What is it you're giving them exactly?
It's a combination of endorphins and hormones.
They had to get Val Kilmer with his shirt off.
They're compressing into what?
Well,
Look at that little guy.
it
Jesus.
isn't pretty.
Well, it certainly seems to improve their mood.
Oh, that's my contribution. Add little methamphetamines,
What?
morphine.
What in the absolute
some
fuck?
other shit. Keeps them mellow, keeps them coming back for more.
Well, it hasn't brought him back. There.
I'm just so impressed.
Come.
Yeah, I'm impressed by the.
Come. It's okay. Come on,
Like,
take a shot.
I'm impressed by the. Honestly, by the extras and their acting. You know what I mean? I bet a lot of these extras like took their role super serious and researched the animal they were supposed to be and like watched how they move. You know, I guarantee it.
Hyena. Look at my
Well, I mean, it's that, but just
okay? It's okay. You won't hurt you.
like this, like to be on that set for this day of shooting,
Yeah, with that. Yeah.
and a couple minutes they got out, and it probably took them 50 people to even get these few minutes of this one scene. And there's people watching.
Oh shit!
Will you pull the tracker out?
Yeah. Oh shit! So he knows. He was like, "Let me get back." Did you know that? Did you know that hyenas have the strongest bite of all mammals?
Is it really?
Yeah, hyenas have
Hyenas?
the strongest bite of any mammal.
What a weird creature.
Yeah, it's so strange how they.
They're not cats. They're not dogs. Well,
They're in the Canidae family, but they're not like other.
They're more closely related to cats than they are dogs.
No, they're
right?
more closely related to dogs and cats, but they're different.
But they're neither.
They're in the Canidae family. They're just not. They're not wolves. That's all. They're not. They're different from. All the other ones are much more closely related, like wild dogs and wolves and all that. You know. The only other Canidae that's super different is a thing called a dhole.
Yeah. Do you know the other interesting tidbit about hyenas?
What's that? What they laugh?
No, they're like 8-inch proto
Oh, they're
canal penis thing.
their penis vagina thing.
Yes.
Yeah, they all like the girls have penises. All the girl hyenas have penises. It's really weird.
I read the books and learn. I make it work.
Not without this, you don't.
What?
Where the fuck are we? Where are we in this movie? Huh? Thank God. Okay, we're halfway through.
Tim, you see Val Kilmer without a shirt on? Is it doing it for you?
I'm sure that was in his contract.
Oh, I'm sure it was in his contract, too. Comes in with this dude is just ready to blow his head off. Like, look at him.
Yeah, who holds a gun like that?
What are you going to say if you get somebody on the horn? Mayday, I'm being held captive by a pig lady? You going to sell Ace to the circus?
Yeah, who does hold a gun like that? Like, that's...
You know, she's not like us.
I can imagine somebody at the end of the rope.
She's very delicate. They all are.
Like he probably is.
Two shots, too, and she's not going to get him off this island.
Oh, are they saying that Fairuza is also a animal person?
Why don't you smoke this?
She doesn't look like an animal person. She's just a person. She have 8 nipples or something that we can't see?
He said he's done something to her.
There's no way off the island.
I don't care how bad you want to get high right now. I would not smoke anything that guy handed me after being on that island. There's no telling.
How does he even have a gun?
Val Kilmer had it earlier where they
gave
pulled
it
him
to
out. Val Kilmer stuck it to his head, and Marlon Brando told Kilmer to give him the gun.
Said you can keep it. It's going to make you feel better.
Yeah, he goes, if it makes you feel safe, you can keep it. They out here killing shit.
Watch out. Hyena's going to tell them all where to rip that little thing out. Look at that fucking hat, man.
Okay, hold on. That's not a hat. That is an ice bucket.
That's a champagne bucket.
It's a champagne ice bucket that Marlon Brando insisted on wearing in this scene. And this is just beautiful. This was one of his crazy things. He's like, no, I'm going to wear an ice bucket on my head in this scene. And they were like, no. And he said, no, because here's the reason. He goes, because even Dr. Moreau is a hybrid himself, and he wears the bucket because he's part dolphin, and he's covering up his blowhole on top of his head.
Are you serious?
That's what Richard Stanley said. He said he wanted to wear an ice bucket on his head.
Are you serious?
And that's why she's pouring water and stuff in it. Because he wanted to be part dolphin.
Oh, yes, God. Oh, please.
If I was going to be any part animal, being part dolphin would be pretty fucking badass.
Oh no. Oh, my
Rapist.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, that's true. They are rapists.
And it's funny because at this point, Marlon Brando, there was several countries that he was not allowed in.
What? Why?
Because there's a rape scene in Last Tango in Paris that he does.
Okay.
It's apparently a pretty provocative movie. Last Tango in Paris.
Oh, the butter thing?
It was something. There's like apparently a rape scene.
Oh yeah,
and he was there was like a warrant for his arrest in a couple of countries
because it looked convincing.
I guess because it was so convincing.
Oh, are they
Yes, there are a few things.
checking her fangs?
Let me have a look.
Seeing if she's changing.
Ears are better. I'm an idiot. No, darling. How can you say that? You're an absolute angel. You're beautiful inside. You're beautiful outside. You're an extraordinary creature.
Me.
These small things.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Fucked up.
Imbalances. That's all. No. Don't be upset, darling.
I want to be like you. I'll never be like you.
Well, I hope not. How would you look if you were like me?
Cholesterol would be really high.
See, I've made you smile.
Jeez.
Is this like teeth falling out? Is that what's going on?
Who, his?
Yeah, it looks like his like teeth are like falling out. So he's kind of talking like it too.
Well, he famously in the opening scene of The Godfather, he shoved cotton balls in his mouth to change the way he talked and stuff. So I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
It seems like what he's doing right there too.
Put something in his mouth to make himself talk different.
Bro, man. I'm gonna say it. Marlon Brando's overrated. He's overrated. Come on.
Definitely. I don't understand why.
Yeah, he's overrated. Come on.
Well, it's like our generation's experience of Marlon Brando is, I mean, honestly, like at the earliest for our generation is Godfather.
Yeah.
And then trickling down to Apocalypse Now and then this movie. So it's like, what made Marlon Brando so famous that he was even in Godfather was his career that happened.
Yeah.
I mean, the movies he was in that made him famous.
Streetcar
and
all that, yeah.
Yeah, but none of us.
Yeah.
We don't watch
I mean, as a
movies.
child, my introduction to him was Superman, obviously, but I didn't know who the fuck he was. I just did. I was like, that's the guy. That's the Godfather. That's
but the movies that made him,
Colonel Kurtz,
are not in our zeitgeist at all.
Yeah.
Like, so he's like this relic
of a bygone era.
I didn't mean to start you.
Is he about to die? Because Hyena doesn't have
Down here, and I thought I'd come
the chip anymore.
You know, I did hear it rather late today, but I heard. Would you like to be?
I feel like Martin Brando's about to die.
I was listening to this music. It was rather interesting. And were you playing? No.
He is dead now, right? Didn't
I
he
think
passed
so?
away
Yeah.
a while back.
Yeah.
Well, in any event, you see, it reminds
Should've.
me of a man named.
Surprised he lived as long as he did. You know what I mean?
And I would like to demonstrate something.
Well, money.
Yeah, that's true. Money. Yeah.
Where did he go? He went 2004.
And well, you see, there is a sort of music.
These the people playing these animals are doing really good.
They had
like an acting coach or
an
something.
animal behavioral expert.
They're moving really their movement's really good.
They're the only ones that make this movie.
Yeah.
There was I can't remember the guy's name, but he was very well respected animal behavioral, whatever. And he was on set to kind of he's doing a Rhapsody in Blue.
Mm-hmm. Old Gershwin's
Old
Rhapsody.
Gershwin, that's right. Good for you. I'm glad I love this piece of music.
I was reading apparently.
Look, he's seeing them all bleeding. He knows what time it is.
Apparently, Richard Stanley stayed on the set dressed as one of the animal actors for the production, just so he could keep tabs on what was going on.
What am I? The Godfather. Yet we are not like you.
Is that Ron Perlman?
What?
I think that is Ron. Yeah. Look at his face.
Yeah, I'd be willing to bet.
No, it totally is. Yeah,
because he's tall. Yeah, he's big.
Now, I think perhaps it might be helpful if we would go over there and then.
Which is because the very next year after this, he was in Alien Resurrection.
Please. I want to tell you something very important. Just.
he's not a very smart doctor because
It's not the first time Ron Perlman played a beast before this either.
Have you ever seen
He quite literally played the Beast in Beauty and the Beast.
Oh yeah, he sure did.
The TV show with Linda Hamilton.
Have you ever seen A Quest for Fire? Such a good movie. Ron Perlman played a caveman and it was so good.
You are my children, but law is necessary.
If there is no more pain, then is there no more law?
There is always law.
So you're gonna die, bro.
Yeah, it ain't working.
What the fuck?
Oh look, that was a little Pavlov right there. He gripped the area where his thing used to be,
where he expected there to be. Yeah.
Pain, no more.
Good God.
Gotta plant that thing a little deeper, dog.
what he'd done.
To walk on all fours. That is the law. To slurp up our drink. That is the law. We are not men. To eat
Please kill him.
and fish anytime.
Please.
That is the law. Now I am the law.
Shit. Nice.
They just
Thank God.
They just eviscerate him.
straight up eat them, rip them apart.
Now we just gotta get through another 45 minutes of Val Kilmer and the other guy.
Is that really how much is left?
Shall escape.
Yeah, we got a good 30 plus.
Is the law.
Better run, bro.
You see how dark that is?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's so. Why would you just do that?
See, that's the thing. If they actually would have had an actor that was playing that charismatic cult leader thing, it would make sense for the guy they just rescued to be like slowly come under his spell, because that's what his character is doing.
Yeah.
He's like becoming accustomed to the island, dealing with it. But they like turned into a love story with him and the cat lady.
They gave him that gun, but they didn't give him extra bullets. So it's like, bro,
Yeah.
you need to conserve your
Yeah,
ammo.
he's just
dog.
like-
yeah.
It's like, more importantly, you probably should save one of those bullets for Val Kilmer and just go get on the fucking boat.
Or just yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Always save one for yourself.
There is still law. Yes.
But my dad.
But how can there be love without the father?
He hasn't left us.
So these are like the house slaves.
Yeah, basically.
This is like so on the nose.
They didn't
it's
know
so ridiculous.
any other way.
We must wait for a sign.
This is too heavy-handed, man. There's absolutely zero subtlety in this movie at all.
Well, it's like
I love it.
It's like all of a sudden we're supposed to like feel sad that he just died.
Yeah, I mean
that's what they're trying to do right here. It's like, are we supposed to be
trying- yeah.
sympathetic?
Like I don't
The
love
dude was a literal
to a psycho.
madman.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
a madman.
I don't love the movie at all. I just love.
Just
I love
creating
that.
abominations.
I love that all these actors and actresses that had to do this. They had to do this performance.
They tried.
Say that your father had failed. Terribly.
But I still want to fuck you. Now that your dad's together,
I have the same.
I can get that pussy. Get it?
Get it?
You are something far, far.
Yeah, he's kind of slowly descending into madness.
Well, he's about it now.
Yeah, well, he's still all about it.
I think it's one of the worst movies we ever watched.
Did we watch
On the show.
Catwoman? Come on.
We did watch Catwoman.
We watched Catwoman. Come on.
There's a serum Montgomery used to give me. It's in the lab. Stop my regression.
If she's turned into a cat,
So
you got to
there's
get
hope.
away, man.
There's hope.
Nah, I'm getting off this island.
Nah,
girl.
I'm a go.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. You can stay a cat. It's cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go.
You'll be happy here.
Yeah, you'll fit in. Just give it a couple months or whatever. There's some rabbits over there.
Yeah.
You know, you'd be all right.
You know you got stuff
You
to
can fish. Just bunk up with old hyena, you know, you'd be all right.
Ooh. Yeah, can they have offspring?
I wouldn't imagine, but the first scene we
More
saw
abominations,
was birth, so I guess they can.
I think it needs to be helped.
Even though scientifically speaking,
science,
this is completely and utter like rubbish. You can't. These animals that don't even have like the same amount of chromosomes. You can't mix.
Yeah,
you can't mix humans and other mammals together. You know, like that's so silly.
But then you get a little monster baby.
Yeah, like maybe
create a new species.
Maybe like
altogether.
you might could do some stuff with like chimps and humans. But that's about it. You can't.
Obviously, there's the whole man playing God.
Right.
Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam that is in thine own eye, and then thou shalt see clearly to cast out the mote of thy brother's eye. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine.
Yikes, that dialogue.
Trample them under their feet. And then, that which is holy unto the dog.
What does she need?
Animal or man?
What am I looking for?
Need a cast.
And this kind of just doesn't make sense at all. Like all of a sudden, Val Kilmer is
he's taking his opportunity. You know.
Yeah.
He wants to be God.
He's gonna mimic him.
Yeah.
It's like they had two huge A-list actors that were like the big names on the thing, and it's like they got all they fucking could out of Brando, and then once they wrung him dry, like Val Kilmer is like the last that they have left with of like trying to milk out any kind of semblance or scenes or anything.
Or just when Brando was done, he's like, okay, now I'm top tier now.
Yeah. But it's just so hilarious to me that like their two A-list guys that they got on for this movie are both notorious for being egotistical and being difficult to work with,
divas and shit. Yeah.
And it's like, but they're both their reasons for being that way and their careers and everything were at a completely different level. Like Marlon Brando was at the end of his life, end of his career. Like he had the clout and everything, even if it was wrongly placed or whatever. Val Kilmer was riding a high that we all know how that ended up, and it's just like I just admire the producers and the directors that fully committed to making this movie happen.
But that's the problem, though. Nobody ever fully committed.
I know,
like Bob Shea. Okay, these people. Yes.
Production design and how it looks great.
Well, yeah, you can think about like all of these kind of scenes. These are great because when Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando weren't on set, they could like concentrate and get some work done.
The setting looks good. The scenes look good. They're well thought out. They're like the world is fully realized. All these actors, the makeup, everything, like everything around those two actors is awesome. It looks great. Like it's shot pretty well.
Yeah, the makeup department and the stunt people and all those people were there going, hey, let's make the best movie we can make.
Exactly. It's like, but it's obviously hacked together and doesn't make any sense and all those things. But like the fact that even these costumes, like that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like they have a shitload of half human, half animal people. That took planning, people getting out there, production design, like
a good chunk of the budget.
Probably good. Yeah.
Well, I would say the majority of the budget, but the casting.
Yeah, but then Val Kilmer and Marlon's paychecks.
Didn't at the peak of his career, wasn't Val Kilmer in the 20 Million Club?
He got 20 million for Batman Forever. Yeah. No. Jim Carrey got 20 million for Batman Forever.
Oh.
And Tommy Lee Jones and Val Kilmer notoriously hated him on the set of Batman Forever,
right?
Because they were like he was getting paid more than them. That was one of the first things, because I remember that was a huge deal that Jim Carrey was getting a $20 million paycheck for Batman Forever because he was hot off the success of Dumb and Dumber,
big year.
Pet Detective, and The Mask.
Yeah, it was his big year, yeah.
He had, he was... And that was another thing, Robin Williams was supposed to be the Riddler. And then Jim Carrey blew the fuck up, and they were like, no, we want this guy. And Robin Williams always regretted that because he said that he always wanted to play the Riddler, and that was one role that he was... Like, when he was asked in interviews, like, what's the one role you regret that you never got? And he was like, the Riddler.
And I like Tommy Lee Jones, and I like those villains in that movie. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know the comic books that well. They probably aren't great, but that was like the one enjoyable thing about that film is.
God, Tommy Lee Jones hammed it up so bad in that movie.
Them two acting together.
I do love that movie.
It's not as bad as Batman
and Robin.
Yeah, Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
100 times better.
Was it? Wait, did that movie have Batman Forever? Or that was the one with Tommy Lee Jones in them? Does that have Poison Ivy in them, or is that?
That was Batman
that's the
Forever.
next one.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
that was
Batman
Poison
Forever.
Ivy, Bane, and
Mr.
Sub-Zero.
Freeze.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze. Yeah.
Were they having a rave all of a sudden?
Yeah, they welcome your new leader.
What the fuck?
This is where I think like he was getting method too, and that was another thing that
Look at him.
he really thought that he was a fucking god.
Well, I mean, you got to think about from his mindset. Like he showed up on set, and like the biggest actor ever, who he's under, Marlon Brando, is a big problem. So if he can fill in, like Marlon Brando can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
And maybe he had that way of thinking, is like, I am the new Marlon Brando while he's doing this movie.
Yeah, this movie was almost kind of a passing of the torch in his eyes.
In his eyes, even though he was a huge piece of shit during, and
yeah, he.
Jesus.
What's he throwing him? The serum?
I think it's the serum. Yeah.
Douglas. Isn't that's him?
That's him. Yeah. So he's like, when did they get my blood?
No, I think that's meant to be put in him.
Oh, like
to start
they
changing
were,
him.
They were
Yeah,
about
yeah,
to
yeah.
start getting
Yeah.
him too. But that jar's halfway full.
Oh, that is true.
So
that
now,
is true.
now he's like, how much have they already put in me?
Once asked Dr. Watson.
That's kind of like Shutter Island. Like every cigarette
yeah,
you've
yeah.
smoked, every cup of coffee you've had since you've been here, we've been slowly dosing you the whole time.
Sherlock said.
Like, please tell me you're smoking your own cigarettes. No, I didn't. Oh, fuck. That's how
I
they get.
I thought they killed him. Thought I saw Hyena bite his neck.
No, I think they put one of the things in him.
no, they killed Dr. Moreau.
So that they could.
Yeah,
but they
on
had
the pier.
they had
I thought I saw him bite his neck.
Oh.
Oh, see, look, they're showing him all passed out. They did take his blood. Look, that's his medical files.
Yeah. So they've been fucking with him too already while he was passed out.
Bro, you gonna change, dog?
That's why they gave him the gun. They were
Well, he
working
just now
on it.
noticed that he had a new scar.
That's probably where that thing is.
Oh yeah, is he about to like try and cut it out of himself? Or they sent him to assassinate Val Kilmer, I think maybe.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But he's a dog. He's too loyal.
Well, things didn't work out. Moreau wanted to turn animals into humans and humans into gods. But it's instinct and reason. What's it?
They have like little orgies starting to break out
I
behind
think so,
him.
yeah.
Jesus.
To hunt, to kill, master.
I mean, we saw him making out with she-beast earlier, so...
Well, you know that his Val Kilmer's character has been on this island, I think they said, for like at least a decade. So you know he's probably
I want to go to dog heaven.
fucked an animal person already.
Oh, yeah. shouts out to Ron Perlman for
moving like that. Yeah,
or just making it through this.
Ron Perlman has spent a significant portion of his career in like a lot
makeup,
of prosthetics. Yeah.
Beauty and the Beast, this Hellboy,
and like I was saying, Quest for Fire, a lot of makeup to make him a caveman. You got to watch that movie. It's a marvel.
Now, we are men.
We are men. We're men in tights.
Just got to burn that whole lab down and swim to the next island.
Wouldn't it be great? Like, this movie ends, they burn everything down on this island, they get on a boat and just start floating off, and then there's an after-credit sequence. And they're like, hey, look, there's another island, and they roll up, and it's the fucking
It's like
Jurassic Park
it's a
island.
Jurassic Park.
They're like, son of a bitch!
Yeah.
Like,
what are all these crazy guys out here doing cloning and DNA experiments?
I was just thinking about that. There's like the random people that show up on this island. Is like, oh wait, we're in the aftermath of a weird genetic experimentation. Or you roll up on your yacht trip and your daughter gets mutilated by little tiny lizards.
Well, yeah, it would be like the ending of Dawn of the Dead. We're like, oh, we're in an island, and then they just all die.
Yeah, they all die.
Like, oh,
Yeah.
hey, we're on an island, and then they just get eaten by velociraptors.
Have you guys ever seen like the original artwork and treatment for what Jurassic World was going to be? It was going to be like almost like a horror movie where it was the military was genetically experimenting, making dinosaur-human hybrids.
Oh yeah.
It was going to be super cool.
Well, they kept a little bit of that in there with
with
they were
the
trying to use them
defense.
for military
Yeah. Mhm.
aspects. Apparently, at one point, it was going to be raptors running around with laser guns on their backs.
It's going to be very Moreau-esque.
Use me. He intended
Why is he acting all like drunk and sedated the last 30 minutes of this movie?
to stop your regret.
Like, get
I mean, what would you do?
motivated, dude.
Nah, I'd just kill myself.
I'd be burning shit
Like-
down.
like,
Like, I'm not going to get ate by fucking hyena men.
I don't know how he didn't kill himself when he had the gun, like first chance he got. Like he's not getting off this island, and it's a fucking hellscape that you're on, and now you're slowly realizing you're about to turn into an animal.
He's destroyed all the serum.
This movie's so up its own ass.
Jesus.
No,
Yeah,
no.
it is.
Well, I mean, it has to be. Like, think about you were given the task of editing all this together. I would love to see all the cuts that ended up on the floor.
It's just so up its own ass.
I mean,
All the human,
the-
all the
it-
human stuff is. I just want to see these animal people party.
Yeah, I want to see this animal orgy.
that's what I'm saying. Like
It
the
just doesn't know what it wants to be.
Oh, damn,
obviously.
that llama
I'm
was
saying
fucked
that
up.
like
It doesn't know
that's-
if it wants to be an action movie or a
But that's a testament.
Or
like,
sci-fi or-
the background crew, the actors, the people with the prosthetics, and the people that were putting on it, they all said to themselves, "Hey, let's do the best we can possibly do. Let's do a great job. Let's be easy to work with." And it's like, I know everything else is falling apart. I've heard all the rumors about the A team shooting Marlon, and it takes all day to shoot 5 minutes. Let's just do the best we can possibly do. And I think they did. And it's like, that's what we're seeing here. Is like, all the human scenes are the most boring things I've ever seen on
Yeah.
cinema. But then, even though it doesn't make sense, the scenes with the other actors and the people in prosthetics is always fun and interesting.
That's the meat of this movie. That's the good part.
Like, they know that they're all stuck out there. It's like, look, I know we're stuck here, but we're getting paid. Let's just do the best thing we can do.
well, but the
And that's what
the-
we're seeing.
The tone of the movie, because like the second act with Marlon Brando and everything like that, it's like, oh, you're starting to go like, it's like they were trying to make the audience think about the moral high ground and who does have the moral high ground in this movie, and it was starting to make you think and go, okay, yeah, men playing God and all this stuff. And
I mean, that's what they wanted to do.
but then the third act just turns into a straight up. I mean, look what we're watching now. This
Yeah,
is like a totally
well,
different movie now.
but the
this is
characters-
Planet of the Apes.
But the characters who have the lines that were supposed to tell that story were played by two actors who did not give a shit. So
and
like
you could tell a lot of their lines were ADR'd later on, or dubbed over by.
If you're leaning on your main actors to deliver the lines that make you, understand what the message is, and they don't give a fuck, it's like all you can do after that is just
let's make the special effects look good.
Let's just make it happen.
Yeah.
Let's just make it happen.
Yeah, just at one point you just got to go, okay, let's just finish the fucking movie.
I like dogs. Dogs are cool.
I like caravans more.
You like dags?
I'm just glad they can't talk.
What, dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad they can't tell anybody what they've seen.
Well, they talk, but like if they could speak English, it would be
annoying.
Oh, it'd be the worst. It'd be the end of their species.
How do you do, sir? I believe we've met.
You know what? How do we stand and judge Dr. Moreau for what he's done when we collectively as a species have made pugs? We've made pugs, okay?
That is an abomination.
Same thing. It really is.
We have made pugs, all right?
It's the same thing.
We have taken the noble wolf and lowered it. Lowered it to a pug.
Took the best of them and
they put house cat noises.
Oh my god, they really did.
Do you think she refused to wear prosthetics? You think that's why?
Well, like I was saying earlier, in the original script, she was supposed to be full on transforming throughout the movie. But by the end of the movie, she would be like a straight up cheetah,
Oh, I'll hurt you.
Oh god, that's pretty bad. So you're saying her vocal cords have already completely morphed into a straight up house cat? And if so, she better not speak English anymore.
Touch your soft skin, titty.
Ah, shit. They hunger. Man, they haters, bro. They haters.
Well, you kind of notice how, the higher salary of the actor as the movie goes on, the higher the salary, the earlier they die. So Brando died first, then
It's
Kilmer.
budgetary. Yeah, it's a budgetary thing.
Then you have Fairuza. She's probably getting paid pretty good back then.
She probably got a pretty good payday for this movie.
Yeah, she probably did.
I mean, if she had just come off the craft, she could negotiate a good salary.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta have, the sex symbol kind of thing going on.
Well, that was the thing, because in the book, that character doesn't exist in the book. They added it into the movie to kind of add a little romantic things with the guy, made that maybe will they, won't they, and...
I am the law. I am the law. I am the law.
It's another terrible movie we need to do soon.
Judge Dredd?
Yeah.
I almost mentioned Dredd for tonight, but...
I would have
Jesus.
I would have jumped on board with that.
That's a double-crossing canine right there.
Well, they're wild animals. They're the hyena laugh?
That was the first time he did a hyena laugh.
5 man.
Oh, they gotta fuck you up, dude.
Please tell them that I am God.
Oh, shit.
So this is
Wait,
just...
is that Ron Perlman's character?
Yeah, that's hyena.
Apparently he's blind.
Blind?
No, well then that's the shaman dude.
Yeah, the shaman guy was blind,
That's the baboon-like hybrid.
That's the guy that had the horns.
The ram guy. Then they're just killing each other super quick.
That's the voice of that guy.
double check which one Ron Perlman is?
He's Hyena.
So
All gods.
there. So the guy talking to him.
Hyena. I guess that's the character
Yeah,
name.
that's his name. His name is Hyena.
Let me see.
To obey me.
Okay, so that guy doesn't have any credits.
The Hyena character?
You all killed.
Yes,
Father.
Daniel Rigney.
So, yeah,
Hyena pig hybrid.
The Ron Perlman was, that was the...
Ron Perlman's the sayer of the law. He's the blind.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah, that's the other guy. That, huh.
Who should they obey?
This is giving me anxiety, man.
Yeah.
Him? Him.
Huh.
You see, they must.
So
God.
So the guy that did the voice of the baboon hybrid also played the voice of the capuchin monkey in Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Bad dates. That's what they say when that monkey dies. So he's just really good at animal sounds, apparently.
Well, he also played Cujo in Cujo.
He's like the original Andy Serkis.
He played Stripe, Mogwai, and Gremlins in Gremlins.
Wow. He did all the voice, obviously, yeah. Y'all remember who Gizmo was, who did the voice of Gizmo?
Was that,
wasn't it old
Mark Hamill?
Yeah, Mark Hamill. That's what I was going to say, too.
Howie Mandel.
Oh, that's right.
He was big in the 80s.
Oh, Bobby's World.
Another explosion.
A lot of explosions in this thinking man sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Well, all the intelligent people are gone. It's all the animals now. Except
So
for
that's
that guy.
apparently Ron Perlman's character that's on the ground next to him.
Oh, okay.
That guy, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can kind of see it now.
He did kind of look like the
But
hyena, too.
I will say this too. I can kind of maybe understand why they like blew everything up. Because imagine you're filming on a remote island. You built all these sets just for this one movie.
Yeah,
they're gonna get destroyed anyways when you're done filming. Why not put it on camera? You know.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Put it all on screen. Let's blow it all up.
I mean, I know that Brando and Kilmer probably didn't stick around for reshoots.
Yeah.
So they probably shot all these scenes like after they had left.
Or there's like days where they're like, okay, yeah, Brando's not coming out of his trailer today, so let's film some secondary, get the second unit director out and film some fighting between the monsters. But all of this, obviously, action and explosions and everything had to have been done last because they're destroying the set, which is risky, especially when you're filming it at night. Because if you don't get the shot, then you don't get the shot. It's over.
They blew the lab up, so there's absolutely no.
And now we're supposed to feel sympathetic
from
again.
a single gunshot.
Why would you just
walk into the fire?
I mean, obviously he's killing himself, but Jesus, burning alive?
Yeah.
He's like, kill me! Kill me! Yeah, I just would have rushed the dude. Like, hey, you got an AK-47, shoot me.
I mean, he thought he was like. He thought he had it figured out and was leading the revolution or whatever, and then he realized that, his own kind started beating him, and he's like, I fucked up.
Yeah, his whole thing was there is no more, without the father, there is no more law, and he was right, and they ate him for it.
Well, yeah, but they reestablished it, too, whenever he started shooting them, and then they kind of all ganged up and went back on him. They kind of reestablished... in philosophy, it's called the social contract.
Oh, doctors, scientists, who might understand what Moreau was trying to do. Perhaps they could develop a serum.
Old Ron Perlman, look at him.
No more scientists.
Oh, yeah, you could definitely hear his voice now.
Stories, no more experiments.
Yeah.
I thought you would be able to understand that. We have to be what we are. Not what the Father tried to make us.
Yeah, if I was that guy, I'd be like, okay, well, I promise I'll never tell anybody about this island.
Yeah.
Nobody will ever come looking for y'all.
And don't y'all try to go anywhere.
Yeah, y'all just stay here.
Perhaps 4 is better. Anyway.
Wait, 4? Oh, 4 fingers. 4 fingers, yeah. In the end, man is the cruelest animal.
You know what I kind of noticed? I think they gave the lowest budget to the audio because it sounds like a soundtrack from like a TV film.
Oh, yeah, it kind of does, yeah.
Well, imagine they're standing on a beach right now. There's no way they could have picked up...
No, he was talking about the score.
Yeah, the score.
Yeah, I was going to say, that soft dialogue. That was all ADR, obviously, because they had to mute the waves. You can't even hear the water.
Oh, but yeah, try capturing Ron Perlman's voice from that thing.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about the
from
the
15
score.
feet away, and yeah.
I've been meaning to bring up the score, but I couldn't pin it down. But I really think they just had a shit score to put on it because by the time they got editing it, it's like let's not spend too much money on the score.
Well, you remember like the intro credits and the score at that point was super aggressive and high paced and everything like that, and it set a totally different tone for the film than they ended up doing. So whatever happened to Fairuza Balk? We don't.
She got hung. They hung her.
Oh, that's right. They killed her.
They killed her. They
I totally
killed
forgot
her.
that her character died in this movie.
They killed her in a very human way.
Yeah.
They didn't like rip her apart. They hung her.
Yeah.
Yeah. They
make an example of her.
They executed her.
Because she wasn't one of them, but she wasn't a human anymore either. So they didn't.
Well, it's because she never got beat either. It's because she was like,
yeah.
And I feel as though the animal is...
Looks like Donald Trump's mouth.
And they're neither...
Oh, see, now they're going to get super heavy-handed at the ending.
Right.
An unstable combination of both.
Man is the real...
Man's the real animal.
As anything Moreau created.
God.
And I go... in fear.
Huh!
Well, my final thought is that it obviously front to back is just an unfinished film. To me, it's all over the place. Obviously, with 2 different directors, multiple cast changes.
Neil Young. It said Boorman was Neil Young. It's a common name.
Obviously, it was just chopped up and
wouldn't surprise me.
Everybody had good intentions except for the 2 that we talked mainly about, but we got what we got. It's a miracle that movie even had a theatrical fucking release.
Yeah,
that was.
I mean, watch it for the prosthetics. You know what I mean? Watch it for the animals and all the extras, and they truly did have a really good go at it. You know what I mean? And they deserve to be watched. But I mean, everything you said, man, it's a fucking mess. It's a huge mess.
I would say this is a perfect example of what happens whenever you take a dedicated crew, production, everything, and you throw in too many ego-driven A-list actors. I think Brando and Val Kilmer destroyed this, and I think that
almost on purpose. Sometimes it feels like
that's what I'm saying. Is like the fact that this movie came out, the fact that everything was as quality as it was. But was ruined by those. I think it was ruined by those 2 actors.
Mm-hmm.
Like the crew followed through. Prosthetics looked great. Everything looked great. Like I think that the people behind this film really believed in it. But I really think Brando and Kilmer came in and like basically just fucked it up.
Everything changed when they
which makes sense because a lot of the characters that were in this movie ended up actors ended up going on and doing greater things. Even the original director is going to probably do the remake of it. I think I kind of admire it. Like it's a shit movie, probably one of the worst ones we've seen. Like probably one of the more boring movie nights we've done. But I like it just for the fact that the production and the crew did a great job.
All right, well I'm gonna cheers to it, but it's a It's a thumbs down for me.
Thumbs down for me too.
I'm still gonna cheers to it though.
Still gonna cheers though.
Well, it's one that we've always said that we were going to do because it's so infamous for the behind-the-scenes stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And we definitely, on this movie, probably talked far more about the behind-the-scenes drama than we did about the film itself.
Yeah.
Well, we spent a lot of time staring at it, wondering what the fuck was happening.
We knew that was going to happen. That's why we wanted to do this movie. It's just one of those movies. A movie set to be successful is supposed to feel like a family vibe. Everybody's supposed to be on the same page, and it's the betterment of the picture. And when too many egos get involved, and the greater good of the film gets lost to egos, that's when things like The Island Dr. Moreau happen. So it's worth checking out, or if you don't want to watch the movie, there's that documentary, Lost Soul, which is very interesting. But that's me signing off on Dr. Moreau.
Me too. Thanks for watching, guys. A cautionary tale.
And Val Kilmer.
You did really good on that.
What?
You did really good on it.
Oh, well, I just...
Oh, no, he did great. That was a rough one.
Because I did some research. That's why when he was like Highlander or Moreau, I was like, let's do Moreau, because I was like, I just watched all this shit online so I could have some shit, because I knew that there was so much to talk about.
You carried it.
But for real, like there was so many. There were so many more moments in this one than any other one we've done where we're just sitting there watching it, just like what the fuck?
Oh, yeah, what?
There was one point there.
This one left us all speechless.
2/3 of the way through, there was one point where I was like, "Fuck, this is a lot of dead air."
Well, that's why, at one point when
to say.
you were like, "Hey, we're halfway through," and I was like, "We're only halfway through."
That's
I was
fine.
like, "Fuck."
Whenever we're not talking, the volume gets boosted
Yeah.
back up.
There was sometimes
there was a ton of dead air, but I mean, I'm not blaming it on us. I'm blaming it on this fucking thing. Like,
well, there was I had some dead air because I was enjoying the practical effects. I remember watching it going, I have no fucking idea what's going on in the movie or what their motivation is right now. I just was like, man, it looks good though. I was like, God, it still looks good. So I was like, let's talk about that because like fuck the plot. Super well smoke a cigarette.
no, it's fine though. That was a good one in a different way.
Yeah, I stepped out at that one point to take a little quick